Alright guys, for this lesson, we're going to practice adding cross contours to the five basic forms. First thing you want to do, of course, is draw the five basic forms. Let's start off with a circle. Make these relatively large, but not like super big, and they don't have to be perfect. You don't need a compass or anything like that to draw these things. After the circle, let's move on to a box. Start off with a square, then draw your lines at a diagonal, parallel to each other, and then the top and the bottom, the sideline. Next, we'll draw the pyramid. Start off with the top of a triangle. Bring the center line past the other two lines, and then add the bottom ones angled up. For the cylinder, start off with an oval. Bring the lines straight down from the edges of the oval. And for the base, just draw half of an oval. And last but not least, we're going to do a cone. So first, draw the oval and find the center. Take it up and draw a line, a straight line to the edges of the oval. Alright guys, now that we have the five basic forms drawn, let's take a look at how we add cross contours to each one of these forms. Let's start with the circle. Similar to the last one, pretend that you have a line coming down. It will go behind the circle and then reappear on the bottom. Anything to the left, you want to curve the line to the left. Anything to the right of those marks, you want to curve them to the right. Same thing if I was going horizontal. Anything above those two tick marks would curve upwards. Anything below the two tick marks would curve downward. So let's take a look at how that's done. So again, make sure that your two little tick marks are your starting points and your finishing point. So once you hit those, make sure that you curve those lines in the appropriate direction. In this case, I'm curving them to my left. For the lines that are on the right side, I will be curving them to the right. Again, using those tick marks as my starting and my ending point. Notice how the lines appear to get thicker as they come towards you and they get thinner as they go away from you. We're going to do the same thing if we're going horizontal. So starting and finishing tick marks, then I'm going to curve it to make it look like it's going around the circle. For the lines below the tick mark, you just follow the same process, except that you curve them downward instead of upward. Already you can see that this circle looks a lot more three-dimensional. It's really beginning to look more like a sphere now. For the second form, the box is actually pretty easy. All you have to do is try to match the angles of the box, whichever plane you're working on. So right there on the right plane, the angles were slightly diagonal, but on the front plane, the lines are horizontal. If the lines were coming towards me, then I would follow the angles on the top first to the edge of the box. And then when it hits the front plane, then it comes just straight down. Same thing if I was doing the plane on the right. So the top, the line would be horizontal, but when it hits that edge, then it's got to drop straight down to match the angle of the back of the box. Once again, straight across, then straight down. Pretty easy. Just try to match your angles, make sure that they're parallel to each other. The pyramid is done very similar to the box, except that the lines that go up have to go to the point of the pyramid. An easy way of doing that is to put a couple of tick marks on the bottom, decide how far apart you want your lines to be, and then just take them to the top of the pyramid. That will automatically set your angles. Now, if your lines are supposed to be more horizontal, then you have to follow the angles on the bottom of the pyramid on each side. So on the right side, they follow upward to the right, and on the left side, they go up and to the left to match the bottom of the pyramid. And that's all there is to doing a pyramid. The cylinder is kind of a combination of the sphere and the box. On the body of the cylinder, you're going to curve those lines around so it looks like it's going around the cylinder. But for your vertical lines, since the cylinder is upright, those lines are going to be straight on the body and then flat on the top. So straight, parallel to the edge of the cylinder, and then flat on the top, similar to what we did with the box. And lastly, we have the cone. A cone is a combination of the cylinder and the pyramid. So for the front of the cone, you have to curve those lines, just like we did with the cylinder. But for your vertical lines or your upward lines, you got to do it like we did the pyramid. You put your little tick marks on the bottom and then just connect them to the top of the cone. And again, if you do that, it will automatically establish your angles for you. So for this assignment, what I want you to do is I want you to start off by drawing the 5 basic forms. If you need to pause the video. And then once you have them all drawn out, I want you to practice adding your cross contour lines, just like you see in the example above. On the next video, I'm actually going to show you how this applies in actual drawings, not just diagrams.